Hey everybody, welcome to Zulu's Board Game Cafe. This is MC Squared, and today we are going to be learning to play Galaxy Trucker using the new Galaxy Trucker 2nd Edition that just came out earlier this week. We're really excited to crack into this and start playing it. So I wanted to teach everybody how to play. This is one of my favorite board games of all time. It's one of our owner Zulu's favorite board games, and a lot of staff here really like it. So we're going to teach everybody how to play, and hopefully you'll come in and get to play Galaxy Trucker as well. And we're also going to be giving away a copy of Galaxy Trucker to anyone who is subscribed to our channel. Share this video, and everyone who shares it will be entered to win a free copy of a Galaxy Trucker. So stay tuned, share it, teach your friends how to play, win a free copy for yourself. We're all real excited. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. Galaxy Trucker is a game where you are racing across the galaxy in ships built completely out of sewer pipe, courtesy of Corporation Incorporated, because we are at the pinnacle of space capitalism right now. So we are here building ships on the cheap, earning credits, and flying through the galaxy. It's going to be a great time. So the first step of the game is going to be building a ship. And between 1 and 4 players will be set loose in a factory full of components that we are going to use to put together a spaceship to fly through the galaxy and go through several challenges. So the first part, this shipbuilding stage, is a real-time component. So it happens with everyone kind of scrambling for parts at the same time. It's very frantic, it's very fun, and is one of the unique elements of this game, which is part of why I love it. Galaxy Trucker is one of the most unique games out there in the board game world. It is very difficult to compare to anything else as far as doing what it does. It also is a game that has one of the simplest points of entry with one of the highest possible skill curves. So while anybody can pretty much grasp the basic concept, if you get serious about this game, and have a group that is also competitive, it can get pretty intense and pretty involved, and I really like that about it. So, shipbuilding, we all start with a board. You select a bridge based on a color that you like. I've chosen red here for my bridge to contrast with the nice blue board. So I'm going to go over what all the components do, and then I'll go through what a round of shipbuilding would look like. So, first things first, simple component is going to be a gun. Guns are going to be used to defend your ship. You shoot them at enemies and defend yourself with them. You'll notice the back of this gun has a single pipe on it. These pipes are how we connect ship parts to one another. There are 3 different types of connector. There is the single pipe, like you see on our gun here. Go ahead and grab a component with all the different types here. Here we are. Here is angles. You can see the single up here. There's the double pipe down here. And then this is a universal connector, which can connect to anything. So, connecting your ship like this is perfectly all right. Connecting your ship like this is perfectly all right. However, trying to connect your ship like this, you see how it doesn't match up there at all. If those 2 pieces do not connect, that is not okay. And of course, there are other doubles as well. So you'll see this, if I could get it to look properly on the screen, this will be correct, and this will all connect to your bridge as you build. So as you build, you want to make sure all of the pieces connect, look proper, and go well together. Things that are also not allowed is pipes going in to black edges of squares. So you can't do this or this, but black edges against other black edges will be fine if your ship ends up in that sort of position. You can, as you are building, leave pipes exposed to the edge of your ship. See right here, where the ship edge is right there. You can do that, that's allowed. However, that is dangerous because it does make your ship more vulnerable, and also there are prizes to be won for having the ship that has the least exposed pipes. So, things to keep in mind while constructing. So those are the basics, how to connect your ship. All pieces, you have to start building out from your bridge and go from there. So you can't just grab a piece and jam it down here in the corner and say, I want this piece to go here later. Everything's got to start working outward from the center. Okay? Okay. So that's how construction works. And we're going to come back around to the specific pieces and how they actually work. We said this is your basic blaster. These guns will provide a gun strength of 1, and based on where they are pointed, will defend against asteroids that are coming in to run into your ship. Typically, you'll want guns to face forward most of the time. They're stronger when they're facing forward, and that is the most likely direction for asteroids that could destroy you to come from. So if we've set this up and get attacked by an asteroid, if it comes down towards this gun, we'll blow it up. You can also have a gun pointing to the side. Guns that point to the side only count as half the strength. So for things that consider your gun strength, guns that face forward will count as 1. Guns that face sideways count as 1/2. So those are your basic guns. You'll see also that there are turbo lasers. These guns are double wide. You'll see that they have 2 full lasers built into them. You'll also see they've got a bunch of green in the middle. That means that these require special power cells to activate, which is going to lead us to our next component type, which is batteries. Batteries are going to be used to power parts of your ship. When you finish ship construction, for every battery square that you have, you're going to take as many tokens as is indicated. This one will give you 3 batteries, but there are some that only give you 2. And those are going to be used to power those up. So from our turbo laser back here, anytime you need to use this to either destroy an asteroid or power up your guns enough to fight smugglers, whatever you need to do with them, you will have to spend 1 battery from one of your battery squares to power this up. But when you do, it's going to count as 2 lasers, whereas our basic laser only counted as 1. So that's how guns and batteries work. Simultaneously with the batteries and the guns, on the other end is going to be your engines. So here's a basic engine. Engines do have to face the back of the ship because they all need to be pointed to propel you in the same direction. So that's an important thing to be aware of when building your ship. Making sure your engines point towards the back, they make your ship go forward. Your total number of engines will determine your ship's speed when cards that move you through the world come up, as well as help defend you against things when you fly into a combat zone. Sometimes being the fastest ship is what prevents you from getting shot at. And just like there are lasers with 1 and 2 versions that require the battery, there are engines that are strength 1 and 2, and the 2 strength engines require the batteries as well. So those are going to be 2 of the most common components, is the guns and engines to defend your ship and make it go. Those are how your ship stays alive. But you also need to be able to make money, and for that you're going to need storage and crew. Storage comes in 2 different types. There is standard storage and radioactive storage. There are 4 different colors of cubes in this game that will score you points. There are blue, green, and yellow cubes, which are worth 1, 2, and 3 credits respectively. Those can be stored in any storage component. So I can store those in my white boxes. I can store those in my red boxes. However, there's also a special type of cargo. which is radioactive cargo. Those can only be stored in the red storage containers because those are the ones sealed against radioactives. And what you'll find is when building, when you find white storage, they will usually have many more squares on them than the red ones do. So this one, where you can only store one, you can store one of the good ones versus storing 3 of the lower end ones. And that's kind of the trade-off there for what you think you're going to run into more of. All right. So those are storage. Next up is our crew quarters. So there's 3 different types of crew. All crew quarters look like these. They're your little white circles. They'll look a lot like your bridge. They're just going to be white instead of whatever your ship's color is. These would each come with 2 astronauts in them, which would increase your crew size by 2. Larger crew sizes help you explore abandoned stations, pick up abandoned ships, and sometimes having a larger crew helps you fight off and survive a combat zone. There is another type of crew, however, and that's aliens. For aliens, you have to attach a life support system for that type of alien. And there's 2 different types. There are the purple aliens, which are supported by this one, and brown aliens, which are supported by this brown hexagon here. In order to have an alien life support system work, it needs to be attached to a crew quarters. So if we were to set this up on our ship here, this would be the successful way to do this. And now we would replace the 2 regular astronauts that come in this space with 1 purple alien. The purple aliens are weapons engineers. They increase the total strength of your guns on your ship by 2. So if we were to have this 1 gun here on this very poorly put together basic ship, this would be 1 gun, and then the purple alien here, I'll go ahead and get out one of the purple alien meeples. No reason not to actually set this up. It would live in here similarly to the astronauts. Go ahead and show him off. Not that he's easy to see. Oh, this cute little guy. The alien will sit there, and they're going to work on your guns and make them shoot stronger. Likewise, there's the brown life support system, and if the purple alien works on your guns, the brown alien is going to work on, you guessed it, your engines. So, same basic premise. 1 alien replaces 2 astronauts, and this one will power up your engines by 2. So anytime you need to count your engine strength, you're going to add 2 to it while you have that alien. The drawback to aliens is because there's only 1 of them, you don't gain as much total crew capacity for the cards that care about that. And also, they hurt to lose, and they take up a little bit of extra space because you have to have the square that gives them the life support. But that's often worth it considering what they provide to your ship. Those are the 3 different types of crew. Let's see. The last component in the basic game that's going to do anything functional are the shields. These are shield generators that help protect you from small asteroids and smaller laser blasts. You can power them up by using a battery to deflect any small-sized attack that comes at you. There are 2 different types of attacks, large and small. When we see the actual adventure cards, we'll go over what that means. Any 1 shield that's installed on your ship is going to defend against 2 of the 4 quadrants. So this one, because you can see the green is facing the left and the top, will protect my ship on the left side and the top, regardless of how it's positioned. So if I put it even way over here on the right side, it's still going to protect the left and the top. Then I can put on a second shield unit here, and this one will protect the bottom and the right. So in a perfect world, you'll never need more than 2 shield components to have the availability to put shields up on your entire ship. So that's pretty nice. Shields, they do require batteries, so you'll want to make sure if you are playing a shield game that you've got the batteries installed to make sure that they work. The batteries do not need to be connected to the shields. Batteries don't need to be connected to any component they're going to power up. I'm just putting stuff down here on the map to make it obvious. See, and that looks like everything except for the last piece, and these are very basic pieces. These are just sewer pipe connectors. They do not do anything for your ship, but you'll see that both of them have pipes going in all 4 directions and 2 different universal connectors. It makes these very good for expanding your ship and making room for the stuff that you do want, getting to other parts of your ship quickly. So they're kind of filler. They don't hurt when they get destroyed. Or you don't lose anything mechanical if they get destroyed, which is nice. You can just use them to block stuff by throwing them all outside the edge of your ship. I wouldn't do that, it's kind of a waste. Okay, so that's what that looks like. And in a large game, there would be a huge pile of these tokens, and they'd all get flipped upside down. And then everyone around the table would be taking time, at the exact same time, going, oh, look at one piece. If it's something you want to use, you attach it to your ship and keep going. Something you don't want to use, you'll put it back face up, so that now every player can see it, and if they want that piece, they can reach over and snag it and go, oh, give me that. The entire construction phase is supposed to only be done using one hand at a time to maintain some modicum of fairness for a manual dexterity portion of the game. So now that we've learned about shipbuilding, I'm going to go ahead and use some of these components I threw out here to build a ship real quick. First, easy, I got a nice engine with stuff that goes on both sides. So I'm going to attach that right to the back there because the bridge goes that way. See, next, that's just a connector, and I'm a little early in shipbuilding to need that. So I'm going to skip that one for now. So there's a shield. I don't have batteries yet, but it fits nicely into that spot. See, there's a gun. I don't have access to the nose of my ship yet. Placing a gun might block me off. All right, tell you what I'll do. I did find another connector here. I'll insert that one right there. That would let me come back to this component, grab it back up from where I knew it was, and install it there. So even though this is not an ideal piece, I still was able to use it quickly to get this attached in a nice way. See, there's one that I don't feel like I'm going to need. Here's another one, some cargo. Put that going down the side here. Gives me a nice universal connector there at the end. See, another engine that I'm not super fond of yet. Oh, there we go. There's another gun that connects right to the side out there. You can see where there's both pieces here are all just space on each side, that's not going to make them fall off. Oh my, okay. We have one of the alien life supports. I still haven't found any more crew. Skip that one. There's a nice other piece of cargo here. See, there's another life support system. It's for the engine engineer. So I'm going to put that down there and hope that I see something that I like sometime in the future. Otherwise I might be in trouble. There's some more cargo. I'm trying to find some batteries at this point. Oh, haha, speak and will be answered. So now I'm actually going to install this down here. I have some pipes down here that are technically facing the outer world, but because they've got other components through a gap here, it should be pretty safe. See, all right. There's my first life support system. That plugged in right there. Ooh, it's a nice nose gun to top off the front of my ship. I still have so many battery powered components. I should look for more. There's another regular engine. That'll be helpful. There's one more of those. Another gun. Another engine. Another battery. Another gun. And another shield. So now I have some decisions to make about how I want to finish loading out the ship. I think we're going to do something interesting. We'll try and have both aliens on the ship. I'm going to put another crew quarters there, and then the purple alien life support here. Then for this last component, I'm just not sure what I want to do. I'm going to go ahead and put some more cargo here. That's more batteries out on the side, and hope that with the aliens and the double guns that I've got that I'll have enough gun strength, and just hope that there's no large asteroids coming down the sides of the room at me, because otherwise I might be in trouble. And now I've got a pile of cards here. When you set the game up, there's instructions for how to set these out, and you are allowed to look at them sort of during the construction process. There's a limited amount of observation you're allowed to do, but while you're looking at cards, you're not building a ship, and since that's all happening simultaneously, it's going to be tough to decide what's the best call right there. All right, so once every player has their ship put together, we're going to actually go for our flight now. And for that, I will have chosen first player because I finished building first. When there's multiple players, everyone chooses their order based on who finishes first. Usually being first is what you want. So we're going to come onto this board right here. This is the galaxy track. This is going to tell us where people start. It also has information right here. So I'll go ahead and flip it over so you can actually read this properly. You can see it will tell you the reward for what place you come in. First place gets 4 credits, third 3, 2, and 1. There's the prettiest ship. Whichever ship has the least amount of exposed pipes is going to gain 2 credits. Tells you how much each of the cubes are worth. Tells you how much money you pay for each of your damaged components. It also has this track here, which is a reminder of what things can block various dangers. I put this here, and I'm just going to fly my ship solo through this galaxy run, and you could certainly fail at this, even being playing it alone, just because the dangers are very real sometimes, and sometimes if you're not fluent in knowing exactly what you're looking for from this pile, and sometimes 2d6 will just mess you up, and it can go pretty rough. So, before I start this, we're actually going to go ahead and populate the ship. It's an important and very fun part of this game that I often forget, as you've seen. I'm going to find all of my starting components. So I certainly have the brown and purple aliens from before. Populate these spaces. Goodness. Remembering all of the components is an important part of the game, folks. So I have my batteries here now. Lovable little green Tic Tac batteries. Place 2 there. 3 down here. And the last thing we're going to place is our regular crew. These 2 go on the bridge. Everyone always starts with 2 standard crew on the bridge. An important thing to note is if your crew ever loses all of its humans, which is to say the little gray plastic astronauts here, if you ever run out of those, your ship goes adrift because the aliens don't know how to fly the ship. They just know how to work the various specialty components. So, important thing to know about having your crew is you don't want to lose them because you'll have the opportunity and they'll also get kidnapped, they will get enslaved, they will just die in the vacuum of space for no reason sometimes. But, things to think about. So now we're going to go ahead and start revealing the cards. As part of the setup process, I've set up 8 adventure cards here, and these are going to tell us what sort of perils our little astronauts get into along the way as they fly through the galaxy, collecting cargo and fending things off. So we'll flip these over and go over reading them one at a time and see how they work. So the first thing I encounter here is an abandoned ship. So what this abandoned ship is saying is that if I want, I can sacrifice 3 of my crew members to gain 4 credits. I would also move backwards on the track one space for the time it's going to take to do that. Now, since I've only got 4 crew members and 2 of them are specialty aliens, I don't think I would want to do that. If there was another person behind me on the track, once I passed it, they would get the opportunity to do that, and so on and so forth down the line. Once someone has claimed it, they get the credits, and no one else is going to have the option on that card. So there's some benefits to being first, which is you get first dibs on all the stuff you come across. You might not want all of it, or even be able to do some of it, but you get the first chance. That's not always a good thing, though. Next is an abandoned station. I set this up as a random setup and did not think I'd be getting 2 cards in a row that I can't even interact with. So what this one says is it has the 5 astronaut symbol here. If I had 5 astronauts in my crew, I could stop on this station and collect this cargo as my team goes to salvage the station, and I would move back 1 day for the time that's going to take. The ship I built does not have 5 crew, so they get to pass by, and the other people behind me would get the opportunity to do that as well. And we'll pull up the next card. Here we go. Here are some planets. Planets are one of the safest cards you can draw. You stop to pick up cargo. So I'll put the planets card down right here. I'm going to get out some of my little spaceship meeples that we have. We have one for the track, and I'm going to take my other spaceship meeple and place it on the planet. Now I have a lot of cargo space on my ship, so I'm going to stop here on the one that gives me the most possible cubes. I get to take some cubes out of bags, and I get 1 yellow cube, 1 green cube. There's going to be 2 blue cubes as well. I've got those right over here. Start filling up all of this cargo space to make some money when we're done. All right, finally doing something. And when I do that, that has a 3 on it, so I move backwards 3 spaces on the track. So despite the track looking like a little racetrack setup, you actually don't move on it all that often, and you'll honestly move backwards more often than you'll move forwards because of how many more cards there are that make you go backwards than forwards, because there's only 1 or 2 cards that actually make you go forwards. All right, next up, speaking of more cards that make you go backwards, is Stardust. This is a card that has no benefit and is pure detriment, because there's a lot of those because the game is aggressive sometimes. This one's going to make me count the number of open pipes that I have to the world and make me go backwards that many days. So I have 1, 2, and 3 open connectors, so I would move back 3 spaces. Then we keep on going. The next card, oh my goodness, here we go. This is Slavers. So these are an actual enemy that you have to fight off. They have a strength of 6, and if I cannot defeat them, I'm going to lose 3 members of my crew. If I can defeat them, I'm going to take them for all they're worth, which is 5 cosmic credits. So luckily, I installed those 2 big double guns and brought a purple alien with me. So I'm going to count my normal gun strength, which normally is just 1, and my alien improves it by 2 to 3, but I need to break 6. So I'm going to have to go ahead and use my batteries. So I'll use 1 battery, power up the first of my double guns, which will bring me from 3 to 5, and then a second battery to power up the second one will bring me from 5 to 7. So then I've got 7 gun strength, which will overcome this 6. They're defeated. I will get 5 credits, pull the token out, add it to my pile. Great. It does move me backwards a day, or a space on the board, as I'm spending time looting them, but that's usually worth it. And those penalties that make you go back slowly, those are a really good design space, because it means you're very likely, if you're doing great and getting all these things and pushing ahead, you're going to put somebody else in front if you do it more than once or twice. Give somebody else a chance to be the first one to encounter things. Next, here we go, is Open Space. This is one of the cards that make you go forward. You count your total engine strength, and move that many spaces ahead. So I've only got 2 regular engines on my ship, but I did recruit that brown alien, so that's going to add 2 and move me 4. 3, 4. Hey, I'm almost back to my starting position. Next, here we go. Here's one of the imminent dangers. This is meteors. So meteors are large dangers that fly towards your ship with a chance of destroying some of your components. These three are all coming from the front. You can tell by the direction the flame is pointed which way they're coming at you. So what we're going to do is determine where they hit us next. For that, we're going to consult our board and use 2d6. Roll these 2d6. Landed on the 9. Well, this is not going to be good for me. So we go to the top of the board because they're coming from the front. The center piece will always be 7. So we have 7 right here, 8, 9, and then we come down and forward. So this is unfortunate because I don't have a gun facing right here. If it had come down on the 7, my forward-facing gun would have destroyed it. Even the 6 or the 8, I could have spent a battery to power up that gun and destroy it. The alien is not so lucky. So this component, boom, gets destroyed by the asteroid hitting it, which of course kills the alien. Alas, we hardly knew ye. And now opens up my ship to the possibility of further dangers now that those extra parts are exposed. So now, we're still being subject to these meteors. So now the next meteor comes down. This one hits on the 6, but this one's only a small-sized meteor. And small-sized meteors are pretty harmless. They only hurt your ship if they hit an exposed pipe. But since I don't have one here, they bounce harmlessly off. And now I have another large meteor coming down. Let's see what that one does. That one, I rolled a 2. Luckily, there's not even a 2 on this board anywhere. So this one just sails down through the middle of nowhere right here. This is a convenient perfect three examples about how that works. So that's meteors, and that was my second to last card. So there's only one card left. First light's pretty short. It's another instance of planets where I would stop, get some cubes, get some of the red cubes. Very nice. Move back some more days. And that's the end of the flight. So now that this flight has ended, we do the end game checkup, which is first you get to see what rank I came in. We'll assume I came in first because I was the only one flying, so that would get me 4 credits. So right now I'm at 5 credits for defeating the slavers plus 4, so that puts me at 9 credits. And when I'm doing that, we have all sorts of credit tokens that you'll just start stacking up and handing out over the course of your game. Then, after I check that, I check to see if I'm the prettiest ship. Since I lost this component up here, I probably won't be the most attractive ship anymore because now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 exposed pipes, so I probably wouldn't get that in a regular game. So I won't award myself that. But then we get to sell all of our cubes. So I had the 2 red cubes from right there at the end, combined with, so that's 8, 9, 10, 11 for this yellow cube, 12, 13 for this green one, and then 14 and 15 for the 2 blues. So 15 credits from selling off cubes. That's a pretty hefty amount of cargo. So that is 15 right there, plus the other 9 that I've got. 24 credits, not too bad, but now also I do have a destroyed component right here. So I've got to pay for this. It's only 1 credit per destroyed piece, that's fine. It goes down to 23. And that's the entire round. I would end the round with 23 credits. If you were only playing a 1-round game, everyone would compare their credits, and whoever has the most would win. If you're playing a multi-tiered game, now there's a couple of options. In all the options, you are going to scrap your ship except for your bridge. We're going to completely start the process over with larger ships. So rank 1, if we were to flip this over, we'd have a rank 2 ship. Bigger, more spaces, more chances to get hit. We'd have rank 2 cards that were more dangerous, and so on. And that would also proceed all the way up into a rank 3 ship, which is gigantic, massive, and ultimately just a lot of fun to both build and play as. We're not going to get into all those right now. We're just going over the basics to learn to play, all those things. Then, of course, we wouldn't be doing this game of service, we wouldn't talk about the true newest mechanic of this, which is titles. Now, in Galaxy Trucker, there is an option to use these new titles. These 6 things right here, they actually start on this silver side. Now at the end of the first flight, if you're playing a multi-flight game, you will gain a title based on something that you've done. The person who has the most cargo, the person who has the aliens that are the most left alone, the person who has the most batteries. Those are going to be awarded to players as titles, and then in subsequent flights, you have to try and defend that title by making sure you qualify for it the second time in a row. So if you're the person with the most cubes, you need to be the person with the most cubes 2 games in a row to defend this title. And if you do that, not only do you get some credits for defending the title, you also get to turn the title into the medallion version of the title, which gives you the opportunity to get more credits, but also introduces a detriment, because Galaxy Trucker loves to implement detriments to you, that says you can't actually have 2 cargo containers next to each other. And if you do, you don't get credit for anything stored in them. So that's pretty important. You want to make sure that you adhere to those, because the amount of credits that you get from succeeding at these is pretty significant. So I'm excited to see that as a new way to play. I'm excited to just play more Galaxy Trucker, excited to get more people into Galaxy Trucker. I'm excited to get you into Galaxy Trucker, and as I said at the beginning, that's why we're going to be giving away this copy. So if you would like a free copy of Galaxy Trucker, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and we'll be going through all of the likes and shares, comments for everyone that is subscribed to the channel, and giving away this extra demo copy of Galaxy Trucker that we got. And we hope to see you playing it here at Zulu's Board Game Cafe. Don't forget to check us out, zulusgames.com. All your board game needs, all that great stuff. Follow us, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, all that jazz. I'm MC Squared. Thanks so much for joining us, and you all have a wonderful afternoon. Happy trucking. Good night.